Let's see what we got going here.
It's like a bad day.
Okay, this is brainstem, right? I can tell because what's that? Substantia nigra, absolutely, right? So if this is brainstem, what does this guy, squiggly fellow, have to be in the temporal lobe?
Hippocampus.
That's the hippocampus, right? And see how it's got a very distinct squiggly shape.
Right.
So brainstem, hippocampus, and you see that little bit of gray there? That's the body of the caudate. Okay? Compare that to this picture. What do I see in here? Optic chiasm. That's the anterior commissure. Well, we see it on one side, right? See how big the caudate head is here?
Right.
And then what have I got here? In the temporal lobe, that's the amygdala.
Oh, amygdala.
Right? Now look at where the amygdala is in the temporal lobe, and look here.
Oh, spot.
Makes sense, right? The amygdala is first, and the hippocampus is right behind it. So if the amygdala is right here, I go further back, I should see the hippocampus in the same place, right?
Right.
So, in the front of the brain here, big head of the caudate, anterior commissure, optic chiasm, amygdala.
Can I ask what this is?
I will in a second. That's the head of the caudate. That's the internal capsule.
So it's going to wrap the whole...
I'll come back to that. And here at our brainstem cross section, body of the caudate, brainstem, and hippocampus.
So if you see substantia nigra, then you're going to see.
And well, I mean, you may not always see the nigra in the midbrain section. The midbrain's a big chunk, right? Remember, nigra's only kind of in the front, so you could get a section where you wouldn't see it. Okay, so.
But it's the hippocampus first, right?
No, amygdala first.
Amygdala first. Anterior.
Now, when we go back, right, that's what we just looked at. Head of the caudate, amygdala, optic chiasm.
Okay.
Body of the caudate, brainstem, hippocampus, etc. Those are those two sections. Okay. So, on any of these guys, like here, for example, right, that's my internal capsule. It's got to be white. Okay? And on the other side of that is my globus pallidus, putamen, etc. Now let's get a better picture for that. It's actually not too bad. There's my globus pallidus, and there's the putamen right in front of it. See, there are two separate structures.
Oh, I thought putamen was a...
Oh, sorry, I got it back.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
okay.
'Cause I'm upside
You're doing
down.
it upside down.
Yep. Putamen and then globus pallidus.
Okay.
But you can also see on here that little thin strip of gray there.
External?
That's the claustrum.
The what?
Claustrum. 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 It's basal ganglia. We don't know what it does.
Okay.
But you see that thin strip of gray matter? There's white on either side of it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got your internal capsule here, external, and extreme capsule.
Okay.
In the middle is the gray.
Okay?
Do we have to know those?
Sure. So, internal capsule, we know what's in that, right? Cortex spinal, all that kind of stuff. Then you've got your claustrum, which has capsules on either side of it, extreme and external. Why extreme? Because they ran out of names. Right? They call it something. Now, what are capsules? Well, an internal capsule we know is cortex to cortex spinal, whatever. But remember, right? This guy's got to talk to here, so you're going to have some axons that have to run within the hemisphere as well. Imagine Broca's talking to Wernicke's. So that's what the external and extreme capsule do, is some axons that run within the hemisphere. But you can see the claustrum on there, right? Thin strip of gray.
Yeah, but that we don't know what it does.
Exactly.
But we know the whites around it, that's between
So in the middle is the claustrum.
Yeah, exactly.
Between
Between the extreme and the external capsule.
in between just within your cortical area.
So when you look over here at a typical axial section, right? We know we're at the frontier.
Right.
And there's the head of the caudate.
Oh, okay.
Right? Internal capsule is a three-dimensional structure, right?
Okay.
Oh, so there's anterior and
Positive.
posterior.
Okay.
So that's going to put this as being what? Putamen and globus pallidus, right?
And
the same
then
over on the other side.
and
So which... Sorry, go ahead.
no. Here would be the external, and then would be the extra
Extreme, absolutely. Yep.
extreme.
And what's the area in between called again?
Degree.
Clostridium.
Colostrum.
Clostridium.
You're not doing micro here. Clostridium.
Oh.
No, colostrum. And then you see the same thing kind of on here, right? The head of the caudate, the anterior limb of the internal capsule, the back part, posterior limb. I can see the colostrum, the putamen. And notice they kind of have the same shape no matter whether you're looking coronal or axial.
So right here, like, where would be the globus and where's the putamen?
The putamen is there.
So it is still
Globus
that.
pallidus is
Oh,
there.
so now it comes a
It's
little
always
medial.
medial.
The globus.
And that's the head of
This is
the caudate
Yep.
up here? Do you also see a tail of the caudate or?
You sometimes can. It's a little bit of there, but it's very hard to spot because it's just a small little thing that kind of curves like that.
Yes.
So you don't see it very well.
so you were saying this is the
Putamen.
putamen, and this. Did you say the
have a little
medial is the
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And then you have the extreme.
Sorry.
Internal, putamen and globus, or putamen and globus.
This part, talking about this part, would be the extra
This
and
would
the
be
external.
hypothalamus.
That's the hypothalamus.
The cap, and they were the capsules,
So how,
and then
this
the
would,
colostrum.
where would the
Capsule's just another name
hypothalamus?
for axons, right?
Oh, thalamus.
Right.
Sorry.
Spinal, internal
Internal
capsule.
capsule.
I'm sorry, Mar, what?
This is thalamus then, or?
Yeah, should be right in the middle, yeah.
Okay.
And the third ventricle is not here, right? 'Cause this is the-
Well, you're
This
seeing
is-
it a little better on this one.
Yeah,
so
that's lower
this is
cut.
the back, the back of the lateral.
Correct? Yep,
So
absolutely.
it's anterior, posterior, or is it superior?
Well, usually they talk about this being the frontal horns and the lateral or the posterior horns. So this is even becoming lateral, right? It's getting close to that. And of course, the choroid plexus is kind of close.
Oh, that's the. Oh.
So I was wondering what those were. That's
Yep, that's that stuff in there. And then this guy here, this was the dude that they had to put a shunt in. Okay, he clearly was having a problem in his lateral ventricle, and it was hydrocephalus, so they put the shunt in. You can see it coming through to the ventricle here on the other side. Now, when you look at the tissue,
Drain it.
yeah, the tissue around here looks fine.
Yeah.
In other words, this guy died a year or years later after they put the shunt in. It was successful. This thing's not going to get smaller, but it didn't get any bigger.
Is that a third ventricle?
No, that's going. The third ventriculostomy is for blocking the actin, right? So yeah, that wouldn't do any good for this guy because the blockage is above that point. So most likely the interventricular foramina, and they have to put the shunt.
So even when they put the shunt, it just keeps bleeding, but it's draining all the time, or it stops the bleeding at some point?
Well, they're not bleeding, right?
Or-
But they're not going to get rid of the blockage, but the extra CSF drains out that way. So it prevents it from getting worse.
It shunts it into the sinuses, right? And then it just goes out.
Most shunts are intraperitoneal. So it comes out and goes all the way down. That's the problem in a kid, right? Because the infant gets the shunt, you got to replace that in a few years. The kid kind of grew. But in an adult, it's much more straightforward.
So it just makes it come directly out of the brain. So it breaks the blood-brain barrier.
Well, it's a literal, it's a tube, right? It's completely circumvented the blood-brain barrier. The CSF drains right out through the tube. The tube is a positive pressure tube, right? Which means when the pressure is built up enough, it opens, the CSF flows out, pressure drops, it shuts again. It's not going to be open the whole time, right? I mean, you're constantly leaking CSF, that would be right. So that's how that one works. But kind of
Who invented that?
not a huge deal, because really, I mean, hydrocephalus has been known since medieval times. It's been written about in ancient Egypt, they were doing surgeries for this 2,000 years ago in Baghdad. So everybody knows what hydrocephalus is. Someone figured out to put a tube in. So kind of cool.
Finally, Baghdad in Egypt is
Well, no, dude, 1,000 years ago, you had to pass a license to get a doctor's degree in Baghdad. You couldn't practice without a license signed off by the doctor. That was 1,000 years ago. Islam rocked.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
We're actually debating whether this is the red nucleus or not.
It's the right location for it. It's sometimes it shows up a little more clearly, but yeah, it works for me. Yep.
So they are reduced.
Yep, I would say so.
Awesome. You can actually get the recorded. How's that?
Gotta make sure.